right now, let's take you to Windsor, where Liberal leader Mark Carney is standing by the Ambassador Bridge, making a campaign announcement this morning as he arrives in Ontario to begin his campaigning here on the fourth day of the federal campaign. Let's listen in.
In the tradition of Al Arbour and Glenn Hall and Marcel Pronovost. And it's great to be here with our two fantastic Liberal candidates, Chris Sutton and Eric Kuzmarek. And above all, it's great to be here in the home of the Canadian auto industry. You know, we're here today because of who's behind me. Proud union members, men and women who are the backbone of the Canadian auto manufacturing sector. And because they're at the backbone of that sector, they are the cornerstone of the Windsor economy, and they're what make Canada strong. And we're also here because of what's over there and what it represents, the Ambassador Bridge, a bridge that for almost a century has stood as a symbol of cooperation and of peace. It's also been a symbol of the greatest friendship between two countries the world has ever seen. And it's more than a symbol. It carries a quarter of all goods traded between Canada and the United States, 1/4 of all goods. That is $140 billion every year. It is $400 million every single day. It's an extraordinary achievement. It's an extraordinary friendship and economic partnership. Et maintenant, ces chiffres et les emplois et les chèques de paie qui en dépendent sur l'échange sont mis en question. Les relations entre le Canada et les États-Unis ont changé. Ce n'est pas nous qui avons changé. President Trump's trade war has put the kinship that exists between our great nations under greater strain than at any point in our storied histories. And his trade war is hurting, and it will hurt more, American consumers and workers. I see that American consumer confidence is at a multi-year low today. And those American workers and consumers should be President Trump's concern. But his trade war also threatens to work and hurt hardworking Canadians, the people I care about, the people we care about. It threatens union workers like those behind me from Unifor, those down the 401 at auto assembly plants in Ingersoll and Oshawa and Oakville. It threatens people in Hamilton who are working in the steel mills and up in the Saguenay at the aluminum smelters. And like hundreds of thousands of Canadians who just want to earn a good paycheck and build a good life. It's understandable that Canadians are anxious. And that's why our new government has committed to use all of the revenues from our retaliatory tariffs against the United States, use all of those revenues to support Canadian workers. We've already turned that commitment into action. To support workers, we have temporarily waived the 1-week employment insurance waiting period. We've changed the rules so that workers don't have to exhaust severance pay before collecting EI. We've made it easier to access EI, and we've made it more generous. I have announced that a new Liberal government will put more money in Canadians' pockets through a middle-class tax cut, a tax cut that will save a two-income family up to $825 a year. Because we know we're stronger together, because we know that, and we know that we're all in this together. Healthcare in Canada is a right, not a big business like it is across the river. Because we're all in this together, our government has created $10 a day childcare for hard-working families so that both partners can work. Because we're all in it together, we've created the Canadian Dental Care Plan that's already served 1.8 million Canadians and is poised to serve more than 5 million more. We know we must do more. And what I want to focus on, not surprisingly, is our auto industry. Autos are our #2 export in this country. It is a sector that supports 125,000 jobs directly and almost another 500,000 jobs in related industries. Many of them good union jobs. We have over 3,300 vehicles that roll off our assembly lines every single day. And the workers who build them contribute over $6 million in taxes every single day. Canadian auto workers don't just build vehicles, they build Canada. And our auto sector has always been there for our country. So in this time of uncertainty and need, Canada will be there for our auto workers. That is why today I'm announcing that the new Liberal government will create the Strategic Response Fund. And this is a $2 billion fund that will protect the jobs of workers affected by President Trump's tariffs. But it'll do much more than that. It will fortify the entire Canadian auto supply chain, from raw materials to finished vehicles. Because we're not just protecting the present, we're looking to build the future. We're creating new jobs. Under our plan, we will build an all-in Canada network for auto manufacturing components. Because on average, an auto part crosses that border, often through that bridge, over that bridge, 6 times before final assembly. And in a trade war, that's a huge vulnerability, tariff as it goes into the United States each time. So what we need to do is build more of those autos and more of each auto right here in Canada. In the new world, that will be an advantage. That will help insulate us from President Trump's trade threats. And it'll grow the economy right here in Windsor and across southwestern Ontario. Nous allons renforcer la chaîne automobile en entier.
Strengthen the entire automobile chain. Critical minerals form a solid foundation for a strong economy. The good news is that we have a lot of them. We're going to work with industry and Indigenous partners and other levels of government to catalyze this opportunity for Canada.
Until today, it's taken too long to get important projects done. Projects that leverage Canada's abundance of natural resources, including critical minerals. We have to move faster to get them approved and underway. That all changes with my government. To make business in this sector easier and more efficient, we will establish a First Mile Fund. We announced this last Friday with the provinces. And what this fund will do is to provide capital to build transmission and transportation networks that link extraction sites to rails and roads. We'll also establish a one-window approval process. That means eliminating duplicative federal requirements by recognizing provincial assessments for major projects. One project, one review. And we will identify projects of national significance and accelerate the time it takes to build them. One project, one review, speed, size, it's time to build. Now, building will include building out critical minerals in the Ring of Fire in partnership with Indigenous peoples. It will include building out our ports, reinforcing and building the Port of Montreal, and new ports like Grays Bay in Nunavut. We will create complete supply chains for the future of our auto industry and new markets for it to sell into. Et finalement, je m'engage à mobiliser des fonds publics.
I undertake to mobilize public funds to give priority to build autos built in Canada, purchase them, and catalyze national purchasing and grow the Canadian auto sector.
Finally, I'm committing that a new Liberal government will buy Canadian vehicles to grow our auto industry and create more good union jobs. We are building Canada strong, and our actions are supporting the work of nearly 500,000 Canadians who work directly or indirectly in this sector. We're supporting their families. We're supporting their communities. We're supporting this great country. That's the thing that President Trump just doesn't get. He wants to break us so America can own us. And it will never, ever happen, because we don't just look out for ourselves, we look out for each other. That's what unions do. That's what the Liberal government is doing. Together we will make Canada strong. Now, there is another person who just doesn't get it, and that's Pierre Poilievre. Contrairement aux libéraux, il ne comprend pas.
Unlike the Liberals, he does not understand what is needed in times of crisis. He doesn't understand what kind of leadership Canadians want in difficult times. Canadians want positive leadership that brings them together, not that divides them.
We're stronger together. Negative slogans aren't solutions. Anger isn't action. Division isn't strength. Pierre Poilievre's approach for division sounds familiar, doesn't it? That's because, as Premier Smith said, and I quote, Pierre Poilievre is very much in sync with President Trump. And someone who worships Donald Trump will kneel down before him, not stand up to him. Negativity won't win a trade war. It won't pay the rent or the mortgage, and negativity won't bring down the price of groceries. It won't protect good union jobs. Negativity won't make Canada strong. Finally, this is the most consequential election of our lifetimes, and Canadians have a clear choice. My government is meeting the moment with purpose, with partnership, and with force. And together, under a new Liberal government, we will build a stronger and more resilient auto industry. We will build and create more higher-paying union jobs. We will build the strongest economy in the G7. We will build Canada strong. Merci, thank you very much, and I look forward to your questions.
That is the pitch this morning from Liberal leader Mark Carney in Windsor. They're talking about the trade troubles and tariffs presented by Donald Trump, and also making some direct and indirect attacks at his main opposition rival in this campaign, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, also backing up the union jobs, of course, that Windsor offer as well.